Hello everyone, how are we all doing? Man, it's a sad day. It's a sad day. For those of you that don't know, Birmingham City released a statement just an hour or two at the time of recording, an hour or two ago, saying that Tony Mowbray won't be returning to the club. I've got to be honest, guys, I'm more gutted about that than I am the relegation, I think, in a weird way. I think he was the perfect man. Obviously, we respect his rights. You know, he said given his treatment and recovery, it would just make it impossible for him to fulfil the requirements of being the Birmingham City manager for now. So he's going to finish off the recovery period, spend some time with his family before he even looks at another job in football. He said he'll become a fan of the club. In that time, he's watched every game and every training session. I do feel for him. I'll be completely honest. My initial reaction to seeing it was I was so pissed off. But then when I read the statement, it makes sense. I was just pissed off because you kind of build the plans in your head, don't you, before you really get the news. And to be honest, I did think he was going to stay. I thought, he went in February or March, whatever. I thought that was a lot of time. But I don't know. Do you know what I mean? You just assume, you speculate. So he won't be returning as Birmingham City manager. Tom Wagner and the board have said they have already started work for the new season. What that entails, I'm not sure. Obviously, there's a lot of work going on at St Andrews at United Park, a lot of construction around the place, a lot of construction inside the place. The Birmingham City store is closed. So we know they're moving ahead with the season. It's just that as fans, we spoke about this last season, as fans, while we do appreciate all that, we're concerned with the football inside of it. And I know their answer to that will be the higher we can build revenue and get the place looking nice, that will affect the on-field game. I understand that. But I saw this morning, Rotherham have brought in a second player. And while they're only free transfers, it's on-field progress. Do you know what I mean? And I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. I don't know about you guys, but the one question it did lead me to ask is, just a few days ago, Birmingham City released the retain list. Now, for me, when that come out, that suggested to me that Tony Mowbray would have had a part to play in that list, selecting players that he'd want, some players that he wouldn't mind leaving and all that. So now that he's going, it does make me think, did he ever even have a say in that? And if so, who did? Is it just reports that have been given from Gary Rowett and saying these players are up for it, these players aren't? I don't know how that really works now, so that quite confused me. And obviously, I'll just reiterate, we do wish Tony Mowbray all the best. Who we bring in now, I don't know. Liam Rosenior has already said that he doesn't want the job. And I don't blame him. I feel like Liam Rosenior could get a top-end championship job. I could possibly see him going to Norwich. Them just swapping hands. This is the thing now. This is where we're going to struggle. I wouldn't even know what type of manager to go for. I think you'd go for one that can affect, I've said it so many times before, that can affect the culture and the philosophy of the club. But I think a lot of people would say, and rightly so, they just want someone to get them out of League One into the Championship, and then we could worry about that then. But then for me, you kind of lose a year's progress in the development as the club as a whole. It really depends which way you want to go down. We know that the owners don't necessarily struggle for money. The problem that they're going to have is drawing someone to come and fight in League One. It's a tough job. I don't know. I saw people mention Jesse Marsh. I don't think we could bring in Jesse Marsh. I don't know if Jesse Marsh is the type of manager you'd want in that league. I keep seeing Will Still associated with everyone. He's the Stade Rennes manager. I don't really have a preference, to be honest. As long as there's someone that can build a philosophy and a style of play, I think that is the core for all Blues fans. We're just sick of seeing the same hoof-it-long football, do you know what I mean? I think that we just want to see progress and a vision and a game plan on the pitch. And while we talk about that, I saw the other day, let me just make sure I get his name right, Frank McParland, who, I've got to be honest, was a name unknown to me. He's one of the top guys at recruitment at Birmingham City. Rumour has it that he's been shown the door. So, I have nothing against this bloke. I've never heard of him, but the fact that we're looking to change the way we do things in terms of recruitment makes me happy, because I wouldn't call last summer's recruitment a success. He done well to get that many players in. I'm not blaming him solely, I just mean the recruitment team in general. But But a lot of the people we were coming, they were half men, half biscuit. In a couple of weeks, a lot of them were injured already. We didn't see Tyler Roberts really until for bloody March or whatever it was. Laird was injured pretty much the whole time before Christmas. I know we had a few great games, but yeah, you don't want that. And we was even talking about at some point, what are the recruitment staff doing? What are the physios doing? Why is everyone injured? So, the club are looking forward and they are building. I have complete faith in Knighthead still. I just think picking a manager in this division is so difficult. You're asking a lot. You're asking a manager to come in and win the league, essentially. That's a big ask. I know we'll have the best squad, the best finances and backing in the league, but that doesn't get it done on the field, necessarily. So you're asking a manager to come in and win the league. Just get 32 wins. It's a big ask. Let's get your guys' thoughts and opinions on it. I'm still optimistic because, it's Tom Wagner I believe in, and I guess Tony Mowbray was a subsidiary of that. It's Tom Wagner we have to believe in. And I know we all would have loved Tony Mowbray to stay at the club, but that's just not how it's going to be. So let's trust. I trust that they've already probably got a short list up for managers that they're looking at. It's then just making the right deal for them to get them in the club. You'd expect someone to be appointed within the next week. I'd start to worry if it went on any longer than that, because you don't just come in, name players, get in contact with them and bring them in. You shortlist players, you rule the potentially good ones and bad ones out of that shortlist. Then you get in contact, then you wait for it. It's a long process to bring in players. It doesn't happen overnight. So the more weeks go by, you think you've only got 2 months, 2.5 months. It's a big ask. It's a big ask. I maintain faith in the club. I don't think we'll have any problems going forward. I still think we'll bounce back. I do think that's made it more difficult, but I still think we'll bounce back straight up into the Championship. And that's not me writing off the other teams, man, because League One looks strong this season. There's a lot of good teams in there. A lot of good teams come up. A lot of good teams. I'd say all 3 of the teams that missed promotion were the strongest teams. They just didn't do it on the day in the playoffs. Wigan are back to their normal selves. I know they had a point stocking last year. There was in administration the year before that. Wigan are a good side. There's some decent teams down there, but I still back us to do it. I said the other day, if we can build a strong back line with a good manager and decent financial backing, it just catapults you out of League One into the Prem. The Championship isn't even a real league anymore for me, after I've seen what teams do in League One and then just follow the Championship. It's like the waiting room for the Prem, if you get League One right, and I stand by that. Let me get your guys' thoughts and opinions. Let's stay positive. No disrespect towards Tony Mowbray in the comments. Feel free to say your initial thoughts, but we can't be slagging him off. Do you know what I mean? It's not his fault. I'm sure he would have wanted to come back and do the job. I hope his family's well and he's well and he makes a full recovery and then comes back to us in a year. But as of today, guys, take it easy and I'll see you again during the week.